Here we are back at it again. We have just finished close of Welcome to Derry Season 1, and I am here with my partners in crime, Sage and also Lelouch V of Blurred, here to discuss our thoughts on the series itself, the path it might go, and how we enjoyed it ourselves. Just a quick overview. Season 1 of Welcome to Derry ran from October 22nd to December 14th. The setting was 1962, Derry, Maine, 27 years from before It Chapter 1. And the primary focus was pretty much the interlude cycle leading up to the events of 1989. It Chapter 1 focusing on the origin of the Black Spot and the Hamlin family history. And we did an amazing job. This individual, Bill Skarsgård, coming back to reprise his role as Pennywise, and Bob Gray. We get to learn way more about him in the series. Before we get deep into it, what was your thoughts on the series so far, as a whole?
Well, you can go first if you want to.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. My issue with the series, I guess, comes from just a personal standpoint. I want it to be scary. And this was never scary, right? Like, Pennywise does not feel intimidating. Like, we see his tricks so many times in so many different ways that we just take anything that is not, normal happening as just like he's just doing shit. Like, and they're just dealing with him doing shit all the time. Like, sorry for the language if she can hear me.
No, she can't.
Sorry, T. Okay.
She can't.
But just it almost gets us numb to the things that he can be. Which, kind of almost diminishes how good the actual B story of this series is. Like, seeing the experience of the black soldiers in direct pursuit of this via the military, seeing their experience, seeing what they had to go through, seeing the parallels to actual reality, that was the most compelling piece of this series, and I enjoyed it all the way through. Mm-hmm. It is a shame that when we see more of this, we won't see more of these characters, because I did grow fond of some of them. But overall, I think it was a pretty solid series. We can save the ratings for later, or you want to do it now? I don't know.
If you have it up, go ahead and say it.
I'll give it a probably a 7.5, maybe 8. I'm kind of balancing between the two because I think it was solid. Very, very strong cast towards the the end. I didn't love, what's the girl's name? Shirley, the
Lily, or the one that went to Juniper Hill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't love Lily, but I didn't hate her by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I shouldn't say by the end because I still haven't watched the last episode. I'm sorry. I've been in full motion since this Sunday. But don't feel bad. Go ahead and spoil it. I'm gonna find out what's gonna end. I have to see the actual final execution for it myself to really form a full opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, from what I've seen, 7.5, 8. It really depends on how well the ending lands. Actually seeing how it goes. Please, spoil away, fellas, please.
All right. What about you, Sage?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie. The lore dump on it, for me being a new person into Stephen King and actually realizing all of these projects and all these movies that has been released have a broader universe that is connected, intrigues me, and this has opened the doors for even new possibilities, such as y'all were bringing up what's the guy, Dick Halloran and him going to the hotel. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry.
Fun fact: The Dark Tower, the movie with I think that's McConaughey and Idris Elba. That's actually the centerpiece of Stephen King.
Yeah, that's what That's what I'm hearing. I gotta tap into all of these movies again with a new expanded scope. I probably
Books
just
way
watched
better,
them
but
as
the
is.
movie
Books way
movie is
better.
just
I gotta tap into the books too, but we're
Mm.
starting to see just his imprint everywhere.
No, you don't. The books are
Basically,
actually traumatic. I don't.
Yeah. When you read the books, you gotta read it like a grain of salt because it's a lot of things that's done in there, especially in the book It.
Oh,
And we all know that one part in the book that we're not going to talk about that they took out completely. Thank goodness.
that it did.
But yeah, no. I will tell you off camera. It. Yeah. No. Don't even try to look it up. Yeah. Well, I'll explain it to you when we're done with the round table.
Yeah, but
that's a weird dude.
We're not
weird dude.
You know how you feel about certain animes?
Oh, okay.
Once you hear what this is about, then you'll understand. No.
I didn't know if it was gonna be the culprit of it or somebody else. Okay, is this all right? Okay. Nonetheless, I like that they were able to show Pennywise in all of his different forms and build upon that lore as well. That was probably my favorite aspect, to see how he transformed from the first. I like that the stakes was crazy. Like, I think it was like a viral moment, but from the first episode to the second episode, after they changed the posters and the characters that was supposed to be in it, from the old characters before they got cooked in the first episode, and then they got the new characters. Like, I thought that was a interesting twist, which helped me feel like the stakes was there.
Good marketing play.
Yeah, a couple good other issues that happens in the episodes. I don't want to give too much, but nonetheless, Lily, I also have the same. I don't know if it was her acting. I don't know if it was how she was written, but from the type of character she was, I feel like she was a lot more vocal than I expected her to be. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but with her crying, it was like egregious. She's the type of girl that I would expect to keep that in and like have that angry cry. Like, don't want to show two emotions, but want to stay guarded type of thing. That's what I would expect.
So
but
the angry cry with the mix of Kerry Washington's face.
Kinda, yeah. You just silent. You just dealing with the pain. Like, and
he's telling Lily to man up. That's crazy.
Not like that. Not like that. I would have just expect, like, from her whole entire, she wouldn't want to put eyes on her. She just was sent to Juniper Hill earlier in her life. Why would she want to put eyes on her for no reason just because she cried? Because you already know niggas gonna cultivate a narrative from that shit. It didn't matter what she did in this season. They was gonna cultivate a narrative about her regardless of the facts of the situation. But regardless, overall, I really like the show. I'm curious what they're gonna do with the next 2 seasons, and hoping that they expand to the Dick Halloran route for that hotel. And damn, what's that in The Shining?
The Shining.
Nonetheless, I give it probably. I'm leaning towards an 8.5/9 out of 10.
All right.
So high key though, one thing I will say is the reality of, like, if Ronnie's dad was accused of what he was accused of at the beginning of the series in real life versus what happened in the show,
it would have been done.
She got off easy.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
got cooked. Would have gotten cooked.
They wouldn't have. It would be no stone unturned on the face of the earth before they caught that.
Now, my thoughts on it. I really enjoyed this series. I'm gonna start off with my rating of 9.5 out of 10. I understand the beginning was a slow burn, but they had to build everything up. To me, it felt like a Game got killed on that first episode. If you thought you was going like Teddy Years or Phil Malkin or his little sister Susie, it just shows that the gloves were off from the get go, and in my opinion, I felt like It Chapter 1 it took it easy on them children. In this one, this man, I'm about to handle business right from the get-go, because the way he handled Maddie Clemens, like, my man put the little binky in his mouth and he already knew it was over. He already knew it was over. And then as you get into more of the characters, you get to meet Ronnie, you get to meet Mike Hamlin, you get to meet all these characters. And one thing I really enjoyed, it wasn't fully the antagonist of this story. It was racism. With everything that was going on, how Will and his wife were being treated, how the airman was treating them, everything under the sun, with how even the black spot. We didn't get no justice really for the black spot. They just said, oh, it happened. What happened to all the African American airmen that was in that place? There was no funeral for them or anything. They just like it just happened. That's all. And one big thing is I really enjoyed the fact that Marge became my favorite character, her and Richie, because of their development of their small little relationship to how it builds to a bigger picture with everything that happens. Being able to have those Easter eggs build everything out made it such a satisfying ending where it landed, especially with the dialogue at the end of the series talking about what is going to happen for season 2 and season 3. We're going to get a season 2, but it hasn't been greenlit yet, so I don't expect it to release until maybe 2027. So
it has been, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it hasn't. I was reading up on it today. It hasn't got greenlit yet, but Andy Machete said I already got plans for season 2 and 3. So the game plan is we're going back to 1935 and 1908. And I was trying to figure out when exactly the It entity became Bob Gray.
1908.
1908, yeah. So I was trying to figure out the age of Kirsch. I was trying to figure out her age throughout this whole situation, but the way they like kind of spun that around, where she ended up being like a Pied Piper for It, so that she could see her father again, kind of made it made her the villain too, which was kind of cool, even though she was like crazy beyond crazy. Well, let's get to it. Season 1 breakdown. Episodes 1 and 3 was pretty much the setup. The cycle began with Maddie Clemens. We see he gets off in the first 5 minutes of that show. Because he's like, I don't want... It seemed like every child has some type of traumatic issues that go on that kind of builds that fear up for it to be able to get... Yeah. To prey on them. Because he feeds off of fear. Like, yes, he eats people, but fear makes it taste better to him. Like, he's trying to get that secret sauce out of you. Okay. I had to fix that. Try and get that.
Speaking of the Diddy Doc.
Oh, here we go. Back to it. So we have the new losers gang: Lily Barnbridge, Teddy Urias, Phil Malkin, and Ronnie Grogan. You see that they get built up this first episode, but then when we get to their equivalent of the Red Wedding, Phil's sister gets bodied, Phil gets bodied, and Teddy gets bodied. So we're left with Lily and Ronnie, and then we end up getting these other characters. Mike Hamlin, who gets brought in because his father is being brought onto the military base to help out with a new project, because we end up finding out he has no fear, which I'm trying to figure out how. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how does a man not have no fear because he got something taken out his brain, or he has some type of surgery or something that
caused it. You have a non-existent amygdala, the chemicals that induce fear in your brain don't activate, but we see him clearly react and fear in a couple places. So I mean,
but the cool thing about it is it's not like a true fear. It's more like fear of his family being hurt. So that was the only fear that he truly had in the end. He wasn't like afraid of like clowns like Richie Tozier is in It Chapter 1 or what's some boy named that had the inhaler? Got his name.
But afraid enough to almost shoot his son on sight.
Yeah, because he's fearful of his family getting hurt. Like he cares about his family so much, especially when. Okay, I don't want to get to that part yet because we're going to get down to the nitty gritty for episodes 7 and 8. But we end up seeing a breakdown of like the military conspiracy in these first 3 episodes, where when Will Hamlin and his airman buddy is driving in that truck, you see them like closing the gate off for this one building until you end up finding out why they actually brought Will in, and it was for that project, for him to work with Dick Halloran going forward. Now, what was your thoughts on like the whole, like right out the gate, we got like 3 deaths with those children, and like that baby demon thing coming out the movie screen and stuff.
Nice spin. Didn't expect it at all. Knew something was going to probably build. As usually, I feel like most of the episodes took that route, especially the earlier episodes when they lore dumped a lot, story dumped a lot in the first like half of the episode, and then there's scary moments more so in the second half. I think it was a good way, like O said, a good marketing strategy, one, and just a good story plot device, I guess, to push the narrative forward too.
Yeah, being completely real when it comes to like the effectiveness of Pennywise, it really seemed like it stopped there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he killed nobody important after that, like period.
But he did scare the stew out of a couple key people. Ronnie?
I mean, he technically did.
Bruh. When she came out the womb, busted through that thing, and it was an exact copy of her mother, and the thing came out looking so daggone scary, and she's like, "You did this to me. You did." Like, she's sitting there freaked out, eyes like the whites of her eyes was like, you can tell it was like, yo, I'm about to have a meal right now. Luckily, her dad came through that door, but she was about to get body right then and there. Which,
that on it, like Ethan also talked about that scene when we talked about this one then and now, but like it did nothing for me, honestly. Like, just like I get the symbolism behind it. I get why a child would be afraid of that. It's not scary.
So you're telling me if you woke up and you was in a womb, you popped out, like you just gonna be like, okay.
If I didn't see what I saw the night before, then yeah, like I'd be like.
But Ronnie didn't see it. She never saw what was out there, what was going on.
She was in the top deck looking down. She saw the thing climb off the TV.
No, she just seen them starting to freak out, and she started trying to like get out of there. She didn't really see it because she was like, "What happened? What happened? I didn't see what happened." All she knows is that door was locked when she heard everybody screaming down there. Because she was asking Lily, "What happened? What was that?" And then she was still holding Susie's hand in her hand.
He threw that little nigga at that window too early, so she couldn't see anything after that. She couldn't see anything after that.
But she was up top running the film, and she's like, she didn't start coming down until after shit started getting crazy. There's no way she didn't see the baby climb out the TV or out the screen.
From what I remember, I don't think she saw that, because when you're looking out and that Music Man stuff is playing, I don't think she had enough visual to like see that. All she knows is everybody was someone got flung. She didn't really truly see what it was because she was asking Lily, "What happened? What happened?" So when someone's asking what happened, they didn't see what happened. They're trying to get a explanation as to what occurred in that situation. Which my whole thing is, her dad, I'm gonna say this, her dad got on my nerves when he was in that prison and they're asking him what was your alibi? Because you was not at home. And come to find out.
He couldn't.
Come to find out.
He couldn't.
This man was stepping out on some snuff. All you had to do was tell What's-Her-Face's wife what it was. No one was really listening when they were sitting in there. No one was really listening because she was playing like a lawyer per se, and trying to get her freedom fighters to come up there and get him out. Which
he did tell her.
He told her after the fact.
I mean, he told her when she asked him, though, didn't she? Didn't he?
Not while in the jail. It was when I think when he escaped out. That's when she ended up finding out, if I remember.
No, he told her in the jail that he went to see a white woman.
Yeah.
He went to see her only once, not the truth that it was like a whole affair.
But the fact it was Ingrid Kirsch, that...
Yeah, that's why, like, it actually gets worse if he does say something.
It's so
incredibly worse for everybody involved.
Like, so much worse.
So I take it you're taking Shawshank. You're taking getting sent up to Shawshank.
No other option.
I ain't gonna lie, I love that reference because honestly, it got me wanting to rewatch Shawshank Redemption. Granted, that movie is like so long. That movie is so long
and slow.
Very, because I'm sitting there. I went and found some information, and they said like the current watch order to be able to watch all the lore is you start off with Shawshank Redemption, then you watch Welcome to Derry, then you watch Salem's Lot, The Shining, It Chapter 1 and 2, and then you watch Castle Rock and Dr. Sleep. And one thing I found out, because I've never watched Castle Rock, Bill Skarsgård is in that in season 1.
Castle Rock about?
I don't know.
Random.
I don't know. I heard they said if you like Welcome to Derry and you need that same fix, watch Castle Rock. And I think it's either on Netflix or Hulu, but I think I'm gonna go through this order and watch everything because I'm still in the middle of Shawshank Redemption. I'm an hour in, so I pretty much got it on while I'm doing work.
I gotta delegate time throughout the week.
You know what I'm saying?
To watch this whole
every
movie.
5 minutes, all I hear is Morgan Freeman. I hear the guy ask Morgan Freeman, I heard you're a guy that can get some things. He said, yeah, I'm that guy that can get some things. I heard that about 10 times already within the first hour. I'm like, they practice this dialogue. They know it. If Homeboy came up to Morgan Freeman right now and said it, he would know it right off the back of his head. But Morgan. But
70.
True. This man was honestly, it felt like he narrated almost every daggone movie that came out over the last like 50 years. That's literally what plays in my head every time.
Documentaries for sure. Yeah.
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
And or played God.
Yeah. Well, with the how did y'all feel how they handled the Hamlin family, like coming in the door of the series, their introduction? Do you feel like they handled it perfectly, or do you feel like they should have went another way with it?
The Hamlin family was
Will Hamlin and Leroy Hamlin and Charlotte Hamlin.
One of the shining parts, if not the main shining parts of the show.
Yes. Because honestly, I like the dynamic where Leroy is all about the army, the military. This is all I know. While his wife is like some freedom fighter fighting against the government on how they treat people of color. And then you got their son that doesn't want to do what the dad wants him to do, like play sports and all this other stuff. All he wants to do is research, do science, and like actually be in his books. I kind of like that dynamic because I feel like it would resonate with a lot of people, especially those of the nerd culture that don't like sports and everything. And you have that father that played the sport. He wants his son to do the same thing. So I felt like Will, for one, like the way they displayed him was like very perfect with with the dynamic nowadays with families.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a nice dichotomy showing like two sides of what the black experience looked like with the husband and the wife, and then injecting Will into like the the motif of what we see with the main characters of the It franchise. Seeing all of that play out in a single cohesive story, I think that is well played. Do I have a complaint? No, I can't really say that they did much wrong there. It's just it's honestly, again, it's a shame that we won't get to see more of them specifically, but we'll get to the why of that later.
Yep. Now, going forward, episodes 4 to 6, we get to see the homie Dick Halloran like really shine in his role a little bit. I know, play on words, shining his ability. Chris Chalk did an amazing job as Dick Halloran for this season. From being like under that shining, like being in the shining realm, seeing his grandfather again with his grandmother, and how they utilize him to try and locate the different military weapons and everything that's going on. Like the way they handle his character was chef's kiss. I enjoyed everything about it, especially knowing that it pretty much put this on like in line with The Shining, with how everything's going on. Like instantly, it's a prequel to The Shining, along with being a prequel to It Chapter 1 and 2, which is really cool. I enjoyed everything about that, and actually being it and having that The Shining actually play a big role in fighting it or even finding it. So
Yeah, I think it's a good play for them from both a narrative standpoint and a relevance and financial standpoint, because now I have to go back and watch these movies so I can get a further understanding of what happened in this show that I like. Now I get these other like it boosts the relevance of Stephen King's content. I mean, it was never irrelevant, but now it almost pushes it to the mainstream because this very well received series is going to now push everybody to those things that have been out for decades. Well played on HBO's front. I am curious to see. That's a full tangent, like exactly how everything plays out with who's going to actually own HBO in the future.
Yep.
Because it's a lot of suitors apparently.
Well,
supposedly they decided to go stick with Netflix. Allegedly, they said they want to
turn down that deal.
Turn down the deal from Paramount Skydance.
They want that. They didn't want that Saudi money.
Probably that. They said that they felt Netflix would give them the better ROI, basically, in legalese or business speak. So hopefully, I mean, I think I got a little bit of faith in Netflix. Either we'll just keep the status quo, or I don't know, probably improve the process. But no tangent on that. You can finish what you were saying.
I'm curious to see exactly how it plays a role, as to see like what content they focus on going forward. And now to just see like HBO stuff essentially going straight to Netflix, as that's like, I don't think people understand, like, when HBO shows are hot, that becomes like destination TV, where the whole world is just sitting and doing that one thing. When they announce all of these, upcoming Game of Thrones series, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're locking down people's Sundays for months to years to come, depending on exactly how they roll these out. So adding that to Netflix, that's a game changer.
Bananas. But yeah, and about to go from paying $20 for ad-free Netflix to like $50. They're gonna raise it. They're gonna be like, $5 up a year. Nah, we're gonna add another 40. Now, I want to take a quick moment to talk about these scares with the children, especially Lily. We see Lily coming from Juniper Hill back to school during this time of these first 6 episodes. But actually, the first 3, we want to backtrack a little bit. And her story doesn't involve it per se, because she's coming from Juniper Hill from going crazy after her dad was found cut up in different areas around Derry when he got murdered maybe a couple years before this point. And I don't think it wasn't because of it was because of something else, but they never really fully explained that. But that made her go crazy, and at this time she's coming back from Juniper Hill. That moment when she's in the marketplace before like the walls caved in, it was all pickle jars, and you see like her dad like coming out of the pickle jar saying, give me a little kiss, baby girl," and she like freaks out. Before she even gets to that point, they did a good job with the cinematography as she's like going through the aisles trying to get groceries for her mom. All you see is like something popping on in the corner. Another one. And it was like in that moment, I'm like, I am sitting here waiting for something to jump out at her in front of her, not from behind, but in front of her. But for them to have that moment of closing everything in, and you see the camera pan over top of her as all those pickle jars is crashing in because her father was cut up and put in pickle jars. That played, it was like, she is not about to make it out of the situation. She's going to get sent back to Juniper Hill. And in that moment, it was like, this man, that like, it does not care. He's going to find every little piece of you to try and make you scream, make you scared, everything under the sun, prepping you. If many of you know about this anime Hunter x Hunter, there's a character that waits for Gon to be prepared for fighting. And he waits till the time is right. But he always says when he gets ready to fight him, you're not ready, your body's not ready. Which leads down to a whole roll of Diddy references. But
I don't think Diddy ever said that to anyone.
You never... Usher, Justin Bieber. We're not about to go down that
I don't think Diddy ever said your body's not ready to anyone.
You know what?
I don't think he said those words.
Here's the thing. I think you're right. You're good, strong chance that you're right. But I'm really sorry that we went off on a Diddy tangent. But in that moment, it was like, it does not consume his victims yet. He'll consume the adults, as we've seen like right off the bat. He'll consume them, but the children always, like, he has to feed off that fear. What was that?
Plot armor.
Yes. But he always has to feed off like their fear before he consumes them. Which
is just an explanation for their plot armor.
Yes. And because we touched on Ronnie, we touched on what's face, but let's get to Marge. We didn't think he was going to really go after Marge. Granted, we saw it in the trailer, but we didn't. It's like, as everything played out.
That moment where they were at the police station and, they were fighting to get, I'm sorry, I did not remember many of the characters' names, and fighting to get him out of the jail.
Well, Hank Grogan.
And he looked at her. I was like, oh, she done fucked up.
March.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, but the fact that her eye, like, for them to sit there and they're watching that snail video in class, which it took me back to, because back in school for me, Every
No,
now and then they'll throw on those science
Marge. I'm
movies
thinking of a completely different character. Marge is the little girl,
with the
blonde
glasses.
hair with
With the glasses. You
that
talking
was
about
in the
Lily?
patty case.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about Will's mom,
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Surprisingly, Charlotte never got bothered, really. She never did. All she had was, like, if you notice, it was always something just looking at her. Nothing really scared her, which is surprising. Like, nothing really.
He knew
was
not to
fighting
target
nothing.
her ass. He knew not to target her ass. She was not playing.
He knew she
Nothing,
was
bro.
fighting tougher demons.
Oh, did.
He was like, I'm not messing with that one. Something greater than me is going to get you. But Marge, that scene where she's like, for her eye, like he tired, like it. I felt that. I felt that. If my eyes was like that, I would have freaked out too. She was literally seeing. What was that?
So yeah, what do you do? Like your
Bruh,
eyes
she's
like
walking. She's walking through, and they're extending out. But what was the kicker, though? This was just after Lily got out of Juniper Hill, so she sees like Marge trying to set her up. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I think Marge deserved it in a sense. I didn't feel bad in that moment because she was about to set her friend up to get joked upon. But in the end, it kind of backfired. If you look at it, it kind of backfired for Lily because when Marge is running through trying to find something to get these off her eyes, and she's like pretty much cut her iris or whatever on the little saw thing in the wood shop. All you see at the end of it, when everybody busts in, you see Ronnie, you see Will, and the rest of their class. All they see is Lily holding like some type of wood shaver thing, and over homegirl while she's sitting there bleeding with her eye like cut. I'm like, yo, Lily. I understand Lily was annoying, but she literally had all the cards against her. She literally did. She couldn't do anything really. Even when she came back to that school, everybody had their eyes on her. The patty cakes was ready to joke about her. Everybody's ready to say something. Like her dad's death kind of screwed her. I feel bad, but her dad's death kind of screwed her and making her go crazy and go to Juniper Hill and then come back to deal with that ridicule back in the school.
Ronnie and Will had it just as bad.
Oh no, I understand that. Will being the new kid, so he's going to get that new kid ridicule, and then Ronnie where her dad with the whole situation where everybody's coming after them. But Lily had it worse though, if you think about it. Before the whole Hank Grogan thing, her dad was cut up and put in pickle jars. So they were joking about her. If you remember, before the Hank Grogan situation, what came out of Lily's locker when she opened the door? Pickle jars. Filled up. So they were already messing with this girl. So I wouldn't have been mad if it came after anybody would mess with Lily, really. So when he came after Marge, it was like in that moment, I'm like, she kind of deserved it. So, but in the end, it's like I started to like Marge again because of her relationship that she developed with Richie. Which Richie is the homie. Rest in peace to the homie. He didn't get bodied by it. He got bodied by Smoke from Mortal Kombat. So, if you know what I mean, that's a Easter egg of a fatality where he pretty much turns into smoke, goes in your body, make you blow up.
He technically got bodied by it though.
No, he got bodied by Smoke, not it, because he was never bit. He was never eaten by it.
Of it.
It wasn't. It was because of white racist people,
which were set on the trail because the crazy daughter of the nigga that it took was infatuated with the idea of sending up sacrificial lambs to him.
Here's the thing. I understand that. But at the same time, you got to think about it. These are airmen we are dealing with. Airmen.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue is they're black. You have all the white men coming through.
Yeah.
Granted, I understand you're saying that she set the whole thing up, but literally at the end of the day, if they knew that some of them kids were in there, like Marge and Richie, well, they wouldn't really care about Richie because he was Spanish. If they knew Marge was in there, they would not have done that. Because remember, when they stepped in there, they didn't see Marge. They saw Richie on the drums. But homegirl that was singing, he pretty much called her out saying, your father would be ashamed of you. And she left out. They let her go. And when they chained up the door, they said, oh, no one's going to care about them. So in the end, it wasn't it, because if it was it that killed Richie, you would have saw bite marks on him. Or you would have never seen it, like Richie's body there. It would have been floated away into the sewers. It was the smoke that killed Richie because he was trying to save Marge. He was being a knight saving his princess. Which I ain't gonna lie, made me tear up and cry a little bit. Richie was the homie, and he played drums. Oh, like me. Oh man, I felt. Man, rest in peace to homie Richie.
Pimpin', survive.
That's crazy. So you're saying you would have let Marge go? You would have jumped in that refrigerator and let Marge.
Getting out alive.
Oh my goodness.
My name is not Jack. My name is not Richie. You know what I'm saying?
Say it. You let Marge go? If you was Richie, you let Marge go? You gonna save yourself?
There gotta be another way. Plot armor me a way out. Damn it.
He was like, either both gonna fit or I'm gonna fit.
That's crazy. Yo, I felt it
was
like
he was small enough. They both could have fit. No lie. I feel like both of them were small enough they could have fit. It would have been uncomfortable as hell, yes.
But the thing is, it wouldn't have closed all the way and smoke would have still seeped through.
I think they still would have been able to fit and it could close all the way. That nigga Richie was small as shit. Small as hell.
But Marge was bigger than him. Not in the sense she was taller, bigger. But she was taller than him.
Can't be that much bigger.
Rich was a short king trying to get his queen.
Shawty looked a little comfortable in that joint when the police found her the next day.
You mean a couple of hours after that? It wasn't the next day. It was a couple hours. It was guaranteed it had to be past midnight at that point.
It had to be the next day. I'm not trying to get into particulars, nigga. I don't care. But damn it, it was in the morning time. The sun was up. When the shit went down, the sun was down. But now the sun is up, so I'm gonna say the next day.
Mm-hmm.
When they found her, she looked like she took a nap in that hole. She was out, having the time of her life. Got out like the nigga was supposed to still survive.
But bruh, let's take this a little bit further. Let's talk about the Ingrid Curse reveal of her being Bob Kane's daughter. And the fact that she has been like pretty much, like you said, providing these sacrificial lambs so she can see her papa again. When she found that she was working as a nurse, same place that she was working at when she was talking to Lily, when she went in that basement with that child and saw Pennywise, bruh, when he was sitting down there talking to the little girl and she was like, Papa? In that moment, it's like this. In that moment, do you feel a little bit of Bob Gray came out of it for him to look and pause and look at her before he smiled again? Or do you think it was more of he was choosing that moment to say, you know what, this is going to be another meal for me, or I'm going to use it to my advantage?
You use it to his advantage.
Now, in that moment, not when he went to the door and changed to Bob Gray.
Immediately, use it to his advantage.
He saw a weak point, a weak spot, and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to play with this.
You see how we can go, how far we can go with this?
Yeah.
That nigga is from a different world. A universal type of being. That nigga immediately deduced what he needed to do in that moment.
New button to press.
Uh-huh.
And she presented it to me.
Easy, too.
Bruh, my whole thing was, it was like in that moment, when she started to run, I'm like, oh, okay. She realized what it is. That she knows that's not her dad. And the way that door slammed and she couldn't open that door and the child got bodied. What kind of took me out was the moment he popped up as Bob Gray without the makeup and stuff.
She didn't care about that damn child.
I know she didn't care about the child, but what I'm saying is it was like in that moment, he really pulled at her heartstrings because, like Pennywise said in the moment before he hit her with the deadlights, going forward up where the black spot was, I ate your dad. I ate him. Which I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of a boss line because it had me rolling because he was like, yeah, I kind of ate your father. You didn't kind of figure that out since this moment for almost 27 years. You've been providing me food. Cool. The fact that he still had Bob Gray's memories, that he kind of hesitated when it looked like he was about to eat her in that moment when she hugged him at the black spot. So it was still a little bit of Bob Gray in it that will come out for Ingrid. So do you feel like it's like whoever it consumes over time, or is it more of him utilizing their image that he still has some of their memories, or is it more of how do I say this? Do you think he was stuck under the influence of Bob Gray with that being his daughter, or the fact of, like, yes, earlier y'all said that he was using her, why he never ate her?
Yeah, the memories. Whoever he consumes, I believe he gets the memories of those individuals. All of them.
So he felt for his daughter in that moment where she hugged him.
When immediately once she said Papa, he looked up and then recognized, put two and two together. Oh, this is why she called me Papa, because I ate her father. All right, bet. If she really want to see her father again, you can see your father again. Just bring a couple more meals down here when I come about, and I can give you all the time you want with your father, while I salivate over your damn shoulder when we hug. That nigga was nasty, bruh.
He was devious. He was devious in every which way form. Now, to rewind just about 30 seconds before that part where he hit her with the deadlights, when her husband showed up, as he saw her in full clown getup, if you was a husband, would you have reacted the same way, or would you be like, you know what, we get a divorce and we're done?
I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna let her go.
Yeah, you seen Looney Tunes Road Runner, Wile E. Coyote? You know, like one that's like the meat, and it's just like the smoke. Yeah.
Oh, that's you.
Gone.
And it's kind of funny, out of all the cars, his was the one that stopped working. That's what made it a little more climactic at the same time.
These boots is made for walking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they gonna do.
Yeah, gone.
What about you, Sage?
I'd be questioning why her ass is even out there to begin with. What the hell is you doing out here? You told the feds about the spot? I bet. I know where you lie.
Yeah, you would have got bodied by it just like he did. Because he was asking questions.
It wasn't gonna be no getting away.
I understand that, but at least you gotta have a fighting chance to take off running.
The car ain't work. How far you expect me to run?
It doesn't matter. He was done feeding for the most part. I would have been gone.
That nigga had a smorgasbord in the black spot after he killed him.
Yeah. So
he wasn't done feeding. He was getting the appetizer ready.
Nah, he was coming to see his daughter for a moment. It just worked out that her husband that beat her was right there.
Well, that happened at the end of it. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the fire, okay.
Yeah. Now, the fact that he chose a cleaver was smart for Andy Machete to utilize that kill for. You know why? What did Ingrid Kirsch's husband do for a living?
He was a meat.
He worked in the meat shop. And
what if
they what? And this is brought to you by a Diddy documentary. Thank you, Sage. But yes, for him to have that giant daggone cleaver to catch him with that, utilizing something that he utilizes in his day to day to make money, was kind of, how do I say,
wax poetic.
Yes, it was, and it kind of felt as if like Bob Gray was defending his daughter in that moment, because he was like, "Get your behind home. If you don't get your behind home, it's gonna be these hands." I see it as not just him getting the kill, but for him protecting his daughter per se. I felt like a little Bob Gray came out of it in that to pretty much be there for his daughter. What do y'all think? Or you think he was just there to eat?
He was just there to eat. He's keeping his main source of income alive and available.
But you don't think with it being in that boundary of Derry that he never like kept an eye on his daughter in that moment and seeing what she was going through?
Fuck no. Because if he did, he would have killed him a long time ago. Not really. I mean, well, technically,
he only shows himself to those that he wants to be shown to.
I don't want to get into it, but we got some new lore drop where he has the ability to know what was going to happen in the future. He could have killed that little nigga years ago, but he didn't do it. While he was still a little nigga, but he didn't do it.
Man. Now going forward, well, backwards and forward, Bob Gray, when we got to see him in the like actually having that moment of being Pennywise, the dancing clown, in that moment, I kind of felt sad for him, because it was like he's trying to do all this just to get to the big circus and get back to where he was before his wife had passed. And for it to see, he said, "I want to be you because I," pretty much in a sense, he was like, "I want to be you because I can see how the children react to you, how they come after you." And for him to lure him into the woods and pretty much take him out and finally take on his form, it was kind of like, hey, I see a way to get more food. Let me hold your skin a little bit. Like Men in Black style. How the roach took over his body and whatnot. Skin. I'm taking it like that, not any way, shape, or form going forward. I kind of like that small moment, because we've all been wondering what the Bob Gray background was before he got consumed by it, and they did it in the right amount of time, because that was like what, a 10-15 minute scene, if I'm correct.
I think so.
And then you got that moment with him and his daughter. I resonate with that because I have a daughter myself, and I'm not gonna lie, I can see the struggles he was dealing with in that scene, because he's like, I want to get back to the big top, but I gotta work out new kinks or a new routine that the world has never seen for me to get back there. And it's gonna be me and my daughter. And when he gave the daughter name Periwinkle and she stopped and she was like, that was mom's name. He's like, you want to be something else? She said, no, I'm okay with that name. Ain't gonna lie, I thought that was like a nice little cute father-daughter moment. So I think that also plays into a factor of how it reacted with Ingrid Kirsch going forward, because of how much Bob Gray loved his daughter. I still find it funny. He just reminded me of almost every clown at like every circus where you see him drinking at the end of the show, like with their wig off and everything. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like chuckled at that, because that's something that usually happens at almost every circus. We get to the climax of the season where we're at the black spot and we reach the finale. We lost Richie. R.I.P. to the homie. But we also see one key moment happen at the black spot, besides um, Pennywise saying the iconic line, "Do I got some face on my face?" Dick Halloran in that moment finally talks to the ghost, because if you remember when that box got opened up earlier in the season, he's trying to avoid talking to them because they wouldn't try and take over his body, but they would just keep bothering him, and the voices would just keep bothering him and bothering him. He had to actually talk to them to try and find out where the other children were, which I kind of felt like was a big payoff because it led to the ending that we got with Dick Halloran, where the voices did so much to him that he almost did not want to help Leroy Hamlin find his son when it came to that point. Now, when we got to the tail end of the black spot where it's like, I'm going to sleep, and he hits homegirl with the deadlights. We then get to the point where everything is quiet, everything is fine, and Dick Halloran ends up using his shine ability to find that one pillar, and they take the pillar and they're just going to analyze it, which no, they're not. They take it and dump it in some like lava or some hot liquid, which Intel breaks the barrier, which you see it. I'm not gonna lie, for him to lie, be knocked out sleep in the blood of his victims, I'm like, that this man has no chill. I ain't gonna lie, I felt like that could have been like a cover to a rap album or some metal album. What do y'all think?
I haven't seen it yet.
It was at the tail end of episode 7. Remember when before he hit Will with the deadlights?
Oh yeah.
The phone call. Right before that, you see it like laying there where that's where you see the red, and he's sitting there, and then you see him wake up. If you notice, it's hands and everything around him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's literally just laying in the blood of his victims, just like, this is what I do. We out here. But my favorite scene of the whole daggone series is that moment where before he catches Will with the deadlights, Will's on the phone talking. Think he's talking to Ronnie. Shout out to the love story between Will and Ronnie. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of happy for them. You know, black love. We out here. But you hear Ronnie's voice, and then you hear its voice, and then all of a sudden it takes over, which leads to him saying, "Hey, I'm not scared of you. I don't fear you." And then you see him like chilling on the refrigerator before he jumps down and hit him with the deadlights. To see the behind the scenes look at that scene, and you see Ronnie, like the girl that plays Ronnie, sitting there talking, and then you see it. I ain't gonna lie, he looked G'd up with the he had the bathrobe on, and he's sitting there like this the whole time, just like talking. I ain't gonna lie, I still would have been scared of it in that moment too, because you don't know, he's just probably taking the day off, and if you cross him the wrong way, he'll just switch up on you. But I feel like that scene was like very powerful in the sense where he's starting to actually target these kids, because when we get into episode 8 of everything that's happening, where in Winterfire, like the kids and the Hamlins, like they realize the military plan like failed. Excuse me. And instead of handing the pillars off to the military, they pretty much like, you know what, we just gonna burn this thing, we gonna let him out. We gonna see what happens. They open the door for this man to just wake up and just go crazy for the rest of the cycle, which leads to him going to the school. He tells the upperclassmen, like, hey, you know what? We don't need you, like, impersonating as the principal. And he tells all the younger class, like, hey, we're having an assembly in the auditorium, where he catches all of them with the deadlight. And you see them floating, and he's rolling away on that in the Pennywise carriage on his way to try and break the barrier and take off. In that moment, I'm not gonna lie, they actually showed this man being a performer. And the song that was playing, it pretty much talks about like the pretty much the song that was playing that he was dancing to in that moment was about dying. And that y'all about to catch this L. What did you think about that whole school scene with it? And at this point, we're at episode 8, Otis. So I don't. It's like it's coming down, even though you said it was okay to spoil it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think a lot of fans were probably curious what it would look like when it would be fully unleashed. Mm-hmm. And I think they did a good job of conveying that with how he just really didn't care about the adults. Clapped the principal. Easy
Turned
work.
him into a puppet.
Probably clapped all, if not most of the teachers as well.
He clapped the milkman.
Brought all the kids there. Basically, clapped damn near all the town at this point. I'm just speculating, but that's what it seemed like. Whatever that smoke touched, you was getting clapped. But nonetheless.
But why did you think he didn't want the upperclassmen in there? That's the thing that kind of threw me off.
Wait, what?
Remember when he was on the over the speaker acting like the principal? He tells all the kids, all the upperclassmen can go home, but all the other ones come to the assembly hall.
Yeah, and I feel like they can fight back just a little bit more. That's probably why he takes out adults as quickly as he does. Or just why he targets kids at the same time. Kids are just easier. They're going to be a bigger fuel source for fear. It's going to be easier to take them because they're so gullible. Most of them. It's just easier that way, I guess. I guess they taste the best to him. Weird to say that out loud, but nonetheless, yeah.
Hey, I didn't say it. You said it. Now, then we catch up with the girls, and they find out that Will has been taken. This is the moment where I kind of found Lily annoying, but I kind of get it at the same time. So she ends up, when they're in the sewers, she gets the Dagger Stone. And you end up finding out the Dagger Stone has like this ability to affect a person's mind, where it makes you like Gollum for Lord of the Rings. It kind of turns you into Gollum for Lord of the Rings. Oh, my precious. I'm not going to let it go. They literally sit down and fight over it for like 5 minutes, trying to get this thing from this girl. And Lily is overpowering Ronnie and Marge. And I'm trying to figure out how. Like, I don't get it. Like, how is she able to overpower both of them at the same time when they're trying to get this stone from her? It didn't really make too much sense, but at the same time, it kind of did, because it's like you never know with these children with their strength how powerful they can actually be. But for her to take on them two and still hold on to that stone was kind of crazy. And it was smart on Marge to say, hey, as we're walking with the stone, we'll just switch off so that we're not affected by it. And as we get deeper, we get to the point where everybody catches up to them because they start using Holleran as like a beacon to try and find that stone. And they catch up with everybody. Where they end up finding Will, and Pennywise makes his big decree where before Will's father, Leroy, and everybody catches up to the kids, he pulls Marge away. And this is where we get the big twist of the show. He comes up to Marge and tells her, your son will be my undoing in the future. And when he calls her Margaret Tozier, she says, who is Tozier? I don't know a Tozier. And he says, oh, you're not a Tozier now, but you will be in the future. And first comes love, then comes Richie in a baby carriage. And it kind of showed how much Richie played a strong role with Marge in a little bit of time of a month of knowing him, that she went ahead and named her son after him. Which it kind of showed why she ended up being a key target of Pennywise. Because when he says the line, he shows her a picture of Richie Tozier saying, don't you know your baby boy? and he makes a reveal like, you will have a son, and your son and his friends will kill me. But if I take you out, we won't. I won't have to deal with that in the future. And he says this line: Pennywise sees time differently. Past, the present, the future is all the same. Um, in that moment, do you feel like he's like, is this show really? Is this more of a sequel to It Chapter 2 with that line being said, or because he does say, "My death is my rebirth." Do you feel that he's utilizing like It Welcome to Derry? Is it part 2 to the It movies where he's trying to go back in time and take out one of the lineages so that the Losers Club does not take him out? Or you think it's just so happened that we're just in the past right now, and with him being this cosmic being, like you said, he sees time all the same, past, present, and future?
Yeah, I mean, you could be pulling an Eobard Thawne where, like, he knows where his death point was, so he's going back to prevent that from happening. I mean, I don't think that's not feasible. It could be why we see him as more aggressive in this, because it is actually him later in his existence, but chronologically it is earlier for everyone else. So, I mean, that'd be an interesting spin on it if that is the intention.
What do you think, Sage?
I think they pivoted to that sequel, which is one of the things, instead of a prequel, which is one of the things that I forgot to mention in my overall assessment of the show. That was, if not one of my favorite parts, up there with one of my favorite parts for the show in its entirety. The fact that now we're going to see Pennywise up the ante even more in the next period, and then up the ante even more. And I'm curious to see what type of plan Pennywise ends up coming up with, because now it seems like he has the time to come up with a plan, I guess, in regards to how time operates within him specifically. But yeah, I think they flipped it from a prequel to a sequel, and I think it was a needed and necessary pivot, in order to stake more investment in the It franchise. Now they could potentially do some shit. Pennywise actually wins, and they got to do another It Chapter 3 or something like that, with all new different people or all new different kids or something like that, or a different world or what have you.
Okay. Now, do y'all remember in It Chapter 1 what was Richie afraid of?
Clowns, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that encounter with It and Marge, like Marge being face to face with him and he's having this conversation with her, do you feel like after some time, because they do say in Derry you tend to forget, even if you leave, you tend to forget over time, that deep seated fear of clowns kind of just went right to Richie? Because I don't believe she would go ahead and say, "Oh, Richie, I've been in this moment. This is the reason why I don't like clowns. This is probably the reason why you don't like clowns." You think it was just like maybe um generationally like passed down to Richie to have a fear of clowns through his mom?
Um, I don't know if I would say it's that deep. I just think a lot of people are afraid of clowns. He they both just ended up kind of there. I mean, you know maybe they saw a clown while they were growing up, and he saw his mom was afraid of a clown, and he also adopted that fear. Like, I see that, but
Mm-hmm.
like just like like transmuting, fear of clowns. Oh, I don't think it's that.
What's your Sage?
Yeah, me either. Probably just some typical kid stuff. They're just scared of all sorts of things.
Now,
Clowns just happen to be it.
all right. Before we reach a close, let's touch on Dick Halloran. there was a point once when everything's. Let's talk about Holleran. I ain't gonna lie, the play on the name is kind of funny. I don't know where Stephen King came up with the whole name Dick Halloran. You know, that's a little play on words. But
that's what he's doing when he's thinking about kids.
Here we go.
Why is so much of this stuff targeted around kids doing a lot of shit that kids shouldn't be doing in general?
Surprisingly, this one didn't really have anything that children shouldn't be doing.
Choosing to go into the sewers on their own.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I gotta take a side tangent. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing I did not like about this series. That cemetery scene with the CGI of all the ghosts and the ghouls. I felt like I was watching the Haunted Mansion the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. Riding that ride, you see all the ghosts and stuff and everything. That's kind of like how I felt. I think that's the one scene they dropped the ball on. Because I'm like sitting there watching, I'm like, this just reminds me of my time riding one of my favorite rides at Disney. I feel like I'm just seeing it play out in real life. A Haunted Mansion, but Welcome to Derry. I kind of felt like they could have tightened that up just a little bit better. And then we thought that was it, but that was Ingrid Kirsch in the cemetery with him because she said she thought that it was going to show up there, which he did, but not in full form. Now, back over to Holleran. When before he leaves, he says, "I got a buddy that will get me that can that has a job for me working as a chef, as a cook in a hotel." And he says the line, "What could happen at a hotel?" I felt like that was like a nice big nod to The Shining Ralph, even though we know this is technically a prequel for Holleran. I'm not gonna say the first name, so I don't get hit with a daggone pause. But the fact that he says what could go wrong at a hotel, and we know his fate in The Shining.
It's not the fact that his name is Dick. It's the fact that you said, "Let's touch on."
You know what? we didn't have to rewind that one, but knowing his fate, knowing his fate, and in The Shining, and we know that he comes back in Doctor Sleep. Do you feel that they should make like a side story, maybe a movie of him starting his time at the hotel for The Shining? Like, do you feel like that would be like another good show that any Machete could do, or maybe someone else could handle that?
I mean, if they are smart, they go through all of Stephen King's stuff ever and turn all of that into series.
But the thing is, they never had that moment of Halloran's time here, leading up to the hotel where he meets the child and the family, and what was Jack Nicholson's name in it? John.
Here's Johnny.
Well, they got the opportunity. Hit up Stephen King. Hey, we're about to do a story on Dick Halloran. We're about to call it Welcome to Overlook Hotel. Some bullshit like that.
They don't have to do it Welcome to Overlook Hotel. Like, it's just
Welcome to Overlook Hotel. Whatever the name is. Hey, can we get your blessing? 2, if we get your blessing, how would you I guess give us like a baseline of how we should go about things? Because naturally he's gonna have to come face to face with those spirits in those specific hotel rooms. If you haven't watched The Shining, I'm not gonna lie, I can't even remember it. But nonetheless, he's gonna have to come face to face and probably go against them and become strong enough to best them in order to be able to help that kid out in The Shining. So I think they got a lot of different things. It could be other spirits that he faces. I don't necessarily know.
Does that become a movie or a TV series?
TV series.
I don't know. Maybe it could be a movie. I think it could be like a one shot movie.
if this is filler, it better be or canon, anime canon. It better be a fucking show. It better not be no damn movie.
How many episodes?
8.
Yeah.
8 episodes?
Mm-hmm. Around the same time that they did for these Jones.
You don't think they could do it in 4?
They could probably do it in 4, but you're probably gonna get better results if you do 8.
True. But
just go ahead and start the rollout for the SKCU. You know what I'm saying? And
well, who you get to write and direct it though? Because let's say Andy Machete he's working on Welcome to Derry. Who do you get for this series? Like who would be your choice of a director and writer?
I couldn't care less. We're gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Content's just too good.
It's.
What if we get James Wan?
James Wan?
Wan, yes.
Just so he can start it and walk away from it midway through.
Mm-hmm. It's only one season. That's all he has to do.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not Sam Raimi. I can't stand his work. I do Spider-Man, sure. I'll live with that. Horror, disgusting.
Oh, you don't think he did a good job with Doctor Strange?
It was acceptable. Like I said, like superhero stuff, he can he can dabble there. Just stay away from horror.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it first. We need a series of Holleran on his way to on his way to the Overlook Hotel.
Start the
Please.
SKCU,
because
the Stephen King cinematic universe.
Chris Chalk killed that role. He was him, and Leroy Hamlin, probably my favorite actors of the whole show, and Charlie. The children were solid, but when it came to the adult actors, they killed
Black
it.
Cast was going crazy, except for Ronnie Dad. You fumbled the bag, nigga, for no reason. For no reason.
Let's talk about Ronnie's dad in that moment before the children put the stone back where it needed to be, or where it needed to be so that it could be trapped. When it jumped up, Leroy shot him a couple times, slowed him down, right? The Indian woman tried to slow him down. Why was Ronnie Dad just sitting there? Why was he just...
Native American woman.
What was that?
Native American.
Native American. My apology. The Native American woman shot at it to try and slow him down. But Ronnie's dad just like sat there with like that Tommy gun. I felt like he dropped the bag so bad in that situation. You're literally about to let this thing fly up and try and stop your child and her friends from trapping it back in Derry.
It wasn't any snow on the other side of that gun, so he ain't give a damn. Don't shoot the messenger. It wasn't not a hill to climb, nothing over there. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna let the professionals do their job." Oh, my daughter's life's at jeopardy? Okay. Still not enough.
And here's the thing. Otis, when you watch that scene, you're going to be pissed at him because me being a father, I have a gun in my hand. I don't know if this thing's going to stop him, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and slow him down some which way or form. He is up in the air, forming wings to try and stop my children, or stop my child and her friend and their friends. I'm gonna go out of guns a-blazing, or I'm gonna try my best to save my child in that moment, because he just stood there like as before, like the stone hit and it got slammed away by the power of the stone to get sent back to go into hibernation. It was like in that moment I kind of got annoyed by him. He annoyed me.
So his amygdala was working. It was working a little bit too heavily. He froze.
Bruh. they get the upper hand over the military in that moment, and he has the gun and he's pointing it at one of the guys. All you got to do is turn and shoot. You see Leroy pop a couple shots. You see the Native American woman pop a couple shots. Come on, son. Come on, son.
I mean, if they popping shots and he's still growing wings, I mean, what's his bullets gonna do?
When you see it, there's a moment where he could have shot him before the wings came out. He could have been shooting with the Native American woman. Because when he goes down off the first couple shots, because Leroy pops him clean, head off, boom. And the head starts to form back, and he's shooting him until he hits him with the deadlights. The Native American woman pop up and start popping him, and you see it trying to like get herself up as they're about to bring the stone down to bury it. It was like in that moment, come on, son, you could have like you could have helped a little bit.
He froze.
Man,
I ain't gonna lie. If I seen a winged clown trying to kill some kids, I might freeze too.
You're a child, but you're a child.
I ain't got no kids. I don't know how
I ain't a nigga without fear, and I also don't have no children either.
But if it was your child,
I don't know how that feels.
One would hope that they would operate like that, but you can't say nothing unless you're in that situation. And nigga, none of us, hopefully, will ever be in a situation that involves a clown with wings and talons.
First off, ain't no universe where me and my child gonna be in this sewer.
This predicament.
Period.
To begin with.
Oh no! They wasn't in a sewer. They were on a frozen lake at this point.
Oh, you'll
even worse.
You'll literally never in life see me on a frozen lake. Like there's just no like sequence of events that forms that gets me to be there on purpose.
Sage, one
none
thing
of that
is
fly
though,
fishing shit.
Sage,
none of that ice hockey.
Let's talk about. Hold on. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. They're on frozen ice in that car. What kind of brakes was on that mystery van?
Yeah, that shit started to a complete stop. I was like, all right, that's okay.
There's a moment where the children they get Marge back, and they're like, and they get Will from being floating over them with all the other children. They're hugging on the ground. They're all hugging, and the family rolls up in a mystery van. You would think it was something out of Scooby-Doo. They're on frozen ice. They brake perfectly right in front of them without hitting the children. The front fender of that car was about to knock all those children out and take them out. They stopped perfectly on a dime on frozen ice. If that ain't plot armor, I don't know what is.
That's them, 1950s tires, bro. They didn't have the brakes wasn't that strong, so the tires had to be crazy.
Yo, I'm telling you, when you watch it, you gonna be like, "Ain't no way." If it was my car, all those children would have been gone. Like, especially, it didn't slide at all like a car would. It just stopped right dead on. I wish they could have made that a little realistic, like have them stop just a little bit, not hit one of the kids, but stop and let the car like turn a little bit. Come on, it would have gave it a little bit more realism.
See the car Akira slide?
Yes, it would have been perfect. I would have took it, and then the door slides open, and they say get in. So I ain't gonna lie, that would have been cool. But let's talk about Holleran being an MVP in the last couple moments to stop Pennywise from eating Marge. This man does mind judo. And what happens is, in the midst of Pennywise like doing the iconic, like all the teeth coming out and he's about to eat them, he stops and freezes. And there's a moment where the cinematography is so daggone good. You see him freeze and the camera goes right into Pennywise's eyes. And it pans to where it looks like as if he's laying in the where he's like back in time as Bob Gray, laying in one of the Carney booths. And they wake up and you see Homeboy with the hat, which looks like the same hat Homegirl had in Doctor Sleep. That was a part of that group trying to take the children out. I still feel like she's related to that guy some way, shape, or form. But because that hat looked very familiar to what she had. But in that moment, Holleran disguises himself as that guy in Pennywise's mind, trying to slow him down. And he's like, Bob, you need to lay off the spirits. We found you sleeping in the ditch. And he's like, I'm not Bob Gray. I am a god. I'm an eater of worlds. And it was in that moment you could see that he had a pimp. He's an eater of worlds, yes.
He's an eater
of worlds. Say it again. I was just gonna say of worlds.
Let me eat it.
He'll eat your whole world, I guess.
But in that moment, you see Holleran disguise himself as the head Carney person, and he slaps the dog stew out of son. He slapped Pennywise like he was a regular human. When I tell you, he slapped him once, he slapped him again with the backhand, bow. Yo, in that moment, Pennywise thought that he was.
He really forgot who he was. When you get to this part, it's gonna be hilarious. Cause you don't even know. It wasn't until I put two and two together, I was like, oh, only a nigga would be capable of doing some shit like this. Lo and behold, once they show you who it was, I feel like you start dying laughing. That joint was hilarious. I was not expecting that. I was like, did he slapped and pimp slapped Pennywise?
With the backhand, though. Because Pennywise is like trailing back and forth. He's like, where's my powers? And when he finds out it's Holleran, that like he Spartan kicked the stew out of him.
Yeah.
I thought it was Leonidas for real. He kicked.
Oh, my boy Pennywise got a race fetish too.
Oh, there is a line that he said. Go ahead, Sage.
I ain't even gonna bring it up.
Go ahead, say it.
I ain't gonna ruin it.
You already said it.
He got a little race fetish, bro. He said, "What is it? The blacker they are, the sweeter they taste." I was like, "Good God Almighty, this nigga here."
He got jungle fever.
He's a wild one, bro. He really is an eater
of worlds.
He'll eat your whole world.
When did he say that? Did he say it when he was like gliding, like doing his little hop step like past him, or was it when he called called Libra on the phone? I'm trying to think when he said that line.
I think so. I think he probably said it on the phone. I can't remember. All I know is when that joint hit me, I blanked out. I was like, what did this nigga just say? And then the tricky dicky, that was funny too. But,
oh yeah, when he realized Holleran was pretty much doing the mind judo, he was like, oh, tricky dicky. And then he Spartan kicked him out the daggone Carney truck, which kind of knocked him back into the real world from his shining ability. I ain't gonna lie. I think Pennywise would have been cool with the Romans back in the day, because that kick looked like it hurt. He kicked him square in his chest. You would have thought he was stink meter on that one.
I mean, hearing about this just makes it seem like Pennywise is just less and less intimidating, honestly. I mean, if you're fodder, that's not important to the story. Yeah, it'll be a quick kill, but like...
But it was like in that moment...
If you see him twice, you're gonna survive.
I don't know. The way that man run, he would take my slow behind out with a quickness. Because he's pretty quick. Because even, when he's frolicking and skipping, he's like the fastest individual ever. That's all I gotta say. because he was taking some high steps. But let's get to the most iconic moment. We all know Richie passed, but as the children are trying to put this stone in the tree, our homie comes back. Holleran looks over. He sees the Indian woman that he saw earlier in episode 7.
Native American.
Native American. My apologies. And he sees Richie coming from like the right side of her, running full speed. He had a very iconic moment when Pennywise is lying on the ground while they're like taking shots at him. What does he do, Sage?
Throw that middle finger up to him.
My man said, screw this clown. When he did that and then did the baseball slide on the ice, I'm trying to figure out how a ghost is being slippery on ice. Jumps down and helps them push the stone in. It was like in that moment, let's go, Richie. Let's go. That's why I felt like that's why I knew for a fact that it didn't really kill him. Because he would have never came back in that moment. He would have been in the thriller scene in episode 7 where you see all the past kills from like the 1935 gang and then the Easter rabbit bombing stuff, the Easter egg bombing and stuff. So since Richie didn't die because of it, and it was because of the smoke that he was able to be a part of that to help them with the stones. That's how I knew that it didn't kill Richie in that fire. And it was the smoke that killed him. Do you understand now, Sage, when I was making that point?
No, because it killed the Native American chief leader back in the day, and her ghost was still there.
But he didn't eat her.
Still killed her.
But he needs to consume them.
All right, so killing and consuming is two different things, brother. And you were saying killing, and I was saying killing. And now you see why I say that he still killed.
But there was
Richie?
no marks on Richie. You would there has to be some form or way to show that Pennywise took him out.
You don't have to kill somebody if you're in the car and I turn off and I close the fucking garage door, you're taking a nap for whatever reason, the car is on. I close the garage door, I still killed you. I didn't have to put hands on you in order to kill you. There's other ways to kill people. Him making those events transpire the way that he did is him being a direct cause for that clown killing Richie.
Hold on. Nope. Because he didn't kill Richie. It was the smoke that killed Richie. He didn't kill Richie at all. But my whole thing is, at the end of the day, that was probably one of the best moments in episode 8 is having Richie come and help his friends out. I stand on it. When it comes to anime, I despise the power of friendship. But in this one, it had to work. Because how do you take out a cosmic entity? You need your friends.
So, if Pennywise didn't kill him, how did his spirit come back in the first place?
Because he died in a fire. One line that was said by Ingrid, not everyone dies, and if when you die in Derry, not everyone really dies.
So it was an ass pull.
Pretty much.
So it was both an ass pull and power of friendship.
Yeah, pretty much. Because it's like this. When Maddie came back, everybody thought Maddie came back, but Maddie was actually Pennywise. Anyone Pennywise consumes, their ghosts don't really show up. He can take their form. That's why Bob Kane, Pennywise donned his appearance. So with that being said, he didn't really die at the hands of it. He died from the cause of it, with the whole fire and stuff. So if he was consumed by it, then Richie would have never showed up in the scene, and Pennywise would have gotten away and would have been able to get out, because the way that stone, as they're trying to push the stone down, it was so much weight of that stone trying to push itself back up that it was not going down there, and they needed Richie's help to be able to do that. Which, yeah, it's a pull, all right, but they had to end. They had to have an ending per se with plot.
Not a big fan of ass pulls.
I know you're not. I know you're not. But it's a couple things where there was a lot of callbacks to It Chapter 1, especially between Marge and Richie, where Marge says, "I'm going to kill this effing clown." Richie says the same line in It Chapter 1, and when Richie flips off it, there's another scene where Richie does the same with the kids that were going after Mike Hamlin. So it was a lot of callbacks with how generationally, like, the characters develop down the line with their children, or pseudo children, if you want to say that, with Richie. Because hey, what's up? Yeah. You want to float too? Gotcha. Well, with that being said, any other thoughts about the series, gentlemen?
No, overall thoroughly impressed. Hope to see more.
Yeah, it was solid. I definitely look forward to the second one. Looking for how they try to find ways to connect those breadcrumbs further. I hope they keep it black. That's what I liked about it, honestly.
I don't know, because depends on how they do 1935, the Bradley Gang era, and then 1908. That one's gonna be really bananas, because I think that's the Easter egg incident, where if you pay attention to the opening credit scene, they actually show the child's head being stuck in the tree, which was also shown in It Chapter 1, when the one kid was in the library going through all the history of Derry. And that was the same child that was chasing him in the library, which was also the same child that Pennywise had next to him when he said, "You see them all? You see them all? They float too." Oh my goodness, I gotta change him. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. But yeah, it was a lot of cool callbacks with the history, with everything that we've seen in Chapter 1. Wasn't really a lot of callbacks with Chapter 2, but it was a lot of callbacks with Chapter 1, especially with the I don't want to spoil the ending credit scene for Otis. I want him to see that. But that last scene was dope with Ingrid Kirsch. You know what I mean, Sage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Yep. I'm curious. Yeah.
How that one plays out.
They just dropped the Spider. They just leaked the Spider-Man trailer. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I sent that to you from Twitter.
Just now?
No, in the group chat. It's an unfinished trailer. It's not the full one.
Nah, they just leaked. It looks like the whole one now.
Put it in the group chat. I'll watch it right after this.
I already did. This is crazy. What a time to be alive, folks. What a time to be alive. 2026 brings so much more new content, starting with Fallout tonight, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, was it 10:23? I'll probably watch it before I pass out.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Oh, man, there's commercials on Amazon Prime, because I am not paying for ad-free.
Same.
I'm running off of no sleep in the last 48 hours, so I'm going to sleep.
Yes,
but
sir.
I will definitely be watching that tomorrow, Fallout. I don't understand why they pushed it a day early, but I mean, hey, do what you do.
Man, why so late too, bro? 9 fucking p.m.?
Well, you're trying to do that HBO, Destination TV.
But with that being said, I appreciate both of y'all being here for the round table. Speaking of Fallout, I will be starting my episodic episodes for that for my reviews and reactions. So be on the lookout for that. Appreciate y'all. And we will check you guys out later.
Peace.
Peace.